Elfie, come on Elfie, 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 Elfie for life.
Hello, thanks for turning on this video. I'm going to take you through an intro of the 352 system. It's a video that I found online. It's not my own, but I'm going to give you some commentary on it. So here we go, straight to it. So the 352 system. This video is going to take us through why we choose the 352. It's going to look at strengths and weaknesses, individual player roles, and then lastly there's going to be 2 examples of when this has been used successfully by professional teams. So to start with, this is the setup of the 352. Now you'd choose this if it worked with your players. We used this in the last tournament. I think it works with our team. It's a flexible formation. It's great going forwards, it's great coming back. So here we go, let's look at it. So the 4, 5 and 6, 3 central defenders. 3 central defenders at the back. Then we have 2 wing backs. So there's 2 and a 3. They're effectively wide midfielders. Then we have 3 central midfielders. So the 7, 8 and 10 in this example. They fill the space in the middle of the field. And then 2 strikers up front. And we'll look at their movement in this video a little bit, but then in another video we'll look at the movement of the players across the pitch. So if you look at this defensively, we go compact when we are not in possession of the ball, and look at the men we've got, including the keeper. There's 9 men in that central part of the field protecting our goal, which is what we want. Then we will move forwards. Obviously we all open out. There's options through the middle and there's options out wide. So you can see here the arrows just showing the movement of players. Now the 352 against a 4-4-2 system. It's great to look at this. Now at the back we have 3 reds, the 4, the 5 and the 6 against 2 blues. So that's obviously a strength defensively. It's called an overload. Then in the midfield, exactly the same situation, 7, 8 and 10, 3 versus 2 in the midfield. So it's a strength again of the 352 system. 2 up front, that looks standard, but actually if you look at it, 2 versus 2 at the back in front of their goal is a positive for us. Now weakness for the 352 system is, you can see there's 2 blue versus 1 red on either side there when the opposition are coming forwards. Now naturally we would respond to this by shifting over, so the 4 would come over to support the 2, but that leaves 2v2 at the back, which is not ideal, so we'd want number 8 to drop back in that situation, but we'll look at that again in another video properly. If you get an intelligent number 10, then you might see his movement here, so he's dropped off, and then number 9 will move out and number 10 comes in and fills the space. So we've got to look out for the movement of the opposition players here. We've got to look out for that space in front of our goal. We don't want to be vulnerable. Okay, so look at the individual roles. So number 6, the anchor man, if you like, the main man. So at the moment, that's our Tom Nix. So big shout out to Tom Nix, done brilliant so far. He's the organiser. He's looking out for what's going on across the field. He can see everywhere. Then we've got 4 and 5 either side. Very important roles here, covering our goalkeeper. They need to be comfortable with moving out wider. 2 and 3, our wing backs, they need to be good defensively, they need to be intelligent with their movement, but they also need to be good going forwards. Number 8 is a real anchor man, a holding midfielder. He's got to be disciplined in his position. He needs to be ready to support the back line, illustrated there with that arrow. 7 and 10, they need to be defensive, but they need to be intelligent, they need to be great moving, they need to be able to pass the ball intelligently and also move out wide. You can see the space to the left and to the right. So we'd want 7 and 10 to move out on the offence. They might find space behind the front 2 as well. So you see number 10 moving forwards and there'll be a bit of interplay there. We'll see that in a little while. So with 11 and 9, our 2 forwards, again, they could move left and right, backwards, forwards. Another video will show how I want us to move. But for example, the 11 might move forwards. Or the 11 might drop back and then number 10 moves forwards, and with that sort of movement we keep the opposition thinking about what we're doing. So intelligent movement off the ball. And yeah, so another video will explain how I want us to move all across the pitch. So there we go. So now let's look at two examples of this system being used. So the first one is England in the Euro 96. No, it's not. It's Argentina, actually. That's the next example. Argentina in the 86 World Cup. This is the winning side. So they played 3 at the back and then 2 in the holding midfield positions. So Enrique and Batista. And then 1 Burruchaga, very important role. We'll look at that in a moment. So we have the 2 central defenders, left and right. They're either side of the sweeper man, Brown there. And then those 2 holding midfielders need to support the back 3. So this is a slightly more defensive way of playing the 3-5-2. Now we want movement from the wide players. Now in this example they're moving in rather than straight down the line. Maradona was a brilliant mover off of the ball, and you can see his movement. If he drops back, then it leaves Burruchaga some space to move forwards. Again, just getting the opposition thinking. Here's the example of England in the Euros. Now they started up against Scotland in 1996 with 4 at the back, and then the second half they dropped one of their back 4 and went with a back 3. And then you got Paul Ince here, who's got that key holding role in front of Tony Adams at the back. I'm sure some of you guys will remember this happening. So if Southgate and Adams move out to the left, then Ince has to drop into that gap. So that holding midfielder is always watching the movement of the defenders. McManaman and Anderton, particularly Anderton was a great crosser of the ball. McManaman great with his running with the ball. So they need to be moving down the flanks. Now here's an example of the front man dropping off, Sheringham dropping back, and Gascoigne moving forwards. So again, different way of playing. So a quick recap on the 3-5-2 formation. It's flexible, it's got a strong spine at the back, always with at least 2 defensive players in the midfield or on the back 3. There's different ways of using this formation, which we'll look at in another video. The wide areas have the potential to overload up front, but then at the back we've got to watch ourselves. And this is a zonal style of playing, which again we'll look at in another video. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope that's helped you. Please post your questions. There's no silly questions, and I'll answer all of them as best as possible. See you soon. Bye.